So, you're scrolling through Instagram, right? You see these creators with huge follower accounts, and you just have to wonder, how are they actually turning that into a real business? Well, today we're breaking down the exact blueprint. We're going to look at the journey of one creator in particular who built up a pretty massive audience. We're talking nearly 400,000 followers. But as we all know, followers alone don't exactly pay the bills.
And this creator figured it out. They turned that social media presence into over $100,000 in earnings. The real question, though, is how much of that came from Instagram? And more importantly, how did they do it?
So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling. What is the actual, repeatable strategy for making real money from an Instagram following? And I'll give you a hint, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Okay, so first things first. Before you can monetize, you need an audience. But the key here wasn't about grinding 24/7, making new content for every single platform out there. Nope, the approach was way smarter than that.
It all started with a pretty unique niche, juggling, seriously. And the creator's main focus, where they put all their creative energy, was actually TikTok.
And here's where it gets really clever. Instead of killing themselves creating unique content for Instagram, they just followed this super simple workflow. They focused all their creative energy on TikTok, and then, and this is the game changer, they used an automation tool to just handle the rest. I mean, think about it. You're growing an audience on a whole other platform with basically zero extra work. That's huge.
All right, let's get to the money part. Most people assume the first step is getting paid directly by Instagram itself. But, as we're about to see, that path is pretty much a financial dead end.
And this is such a critical thing to understand. You look at platforms like YouTube or TikTok, and they have a clear path to getting paid, right? You hit certain numbers, you're in. But Instagram, it runs this vague, invite-only bonus program. There's no clear target to aim for, which makes it a totally unreliable goal if you're trying to build a business.
And even if you are one of the lucky few who gets an invite, just look at these numbers. It's kind of insane. One video went mega viral. We're talking over 31 million views, and it earned just $1,400. That is an incredibly low return for that much attention.
I mean, this quote from the creator really says it all. The program is inconsistent, the payouts are low, and it can change at any moment. You just can't build a sustainable business on that kind of quicksand.
So, if the platform's own program is a bust, where does the real money come from? This brings us to the absolute core of the strategy. You have to stop thinking like a content creator and start thinking like a business owner.
This slide shows the most important strategic shift in this entire story. The creator pivoted from purely entertaining content, like a follow the red ball video that got a crazy 52 million views but offered little long-term value, to educational content. The goal was no longer just distraction. It was about building real, lasting trust.
And that's the key right there. That small, educational video built a real relationship with people who were actually interested in learning to juggle. Chasing massive, empty views is a losing game compared to building deep trust with a dedicated audience.
And this is what that trust unlocks. The creator built a real business around their expertise. They weren't waiting for an ad payout from Instagram. They were selling juggling balls, courses, and community memberships directly to the people they had helped. And the proof is right here in the numbers. That trust and authority converted into over $21,000 in sales from their Shopify store alone, with Instagram being a huge driver of that traffic.
Okay, so let's boil all of this down into a clear, actionable strategy that you can actually apply. This is the blueprint we've been building towards.
This whole process can really be broken down into these 4 key steps. It starts with creating helpful, educational content in your niche. You do that consistently, and you build authority and trust. From that position of trust, you can then build a real business, a product or a service that solves a problem for your audience. And then finally, Instagram just becomes your free marketing channel to connect those people to your stuff. Ultimately, this strategy completely reframes how you look at your account. You stop seeing followers as just a number for an algorithm, and you start seeing them as potential customers for a business you actually own. Your content is simply the bridge that makes that connection.
And this forces us to ask a much better question. Instead of how do I get more views, the question becomes, what problem can I solve for people who share my passion? Answering that is the real secret to building a business on your own terms.